everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the modern day Dodge Challenger. And as everybody knows who's been following me on this channel and basically following Mopar Insiders for the last week, we have been going through some of the most important and popular concepts and versions of the modern day Challenger. Now if you're not familiar why, it's because December 22nd marked the 1-year anniversary of the last modern-day Dodge Challenger rolling off the assembly line at the Brampton Assembly plant in Ontario. So I went through and I picked out, what's my favorite, special edition concept versions of the Dodge Challenger. And one of them was this. This is the Holy Guacamole concept. You might be thinking, what the heck is this thing? Because I probably didn't hear about it. And there's a good reason why you didn't hear about this concept. The reason why you didn't hear about it was because it was supposed to be shown off at SEMA in 2020, but SEMA was canceled because of COVID. So Dodge actually held onto this concept until the very next year. So a lot of people didn't really understand it because they're like, well, the 50th anniversary Dodge Challenger has been out for a year. Yeah, it was out for a year, but the whole world was put on hold. So was this concept. But it's a really cool concept. It kind of throws back everything from the modern day car to 1970, and Dodge did a really awesome job that really makes this car stand out. And I'm in love with this car. This is probably one of my favorite concept vehicles. Like, we've seen the Challenger SRT10, which is by far probably my favorite performance version of the Challenger. But this one here is probably my favorite overall. So what we got it based on is a 2020 50th anniversary RT shaker car, wide body. But what Dodge did was they painted it a unique color. And where it gets its name, Holy Guacamole, is the fact that the color is called rotten avocado. It's this really cool kind of like pearl green kind of color, and it just really stood out. And I really wish they would have taken this car and brought it to the market. I really do, because I love that color. The interior is phenomenal in this car. It's just a whole different look to the car compared to the current cars. So yeah, it's a custom shaded green called Rotten Avocado. It features a gold school. Now, if you're not familiar with gold school was this unique color that they came out with for the 50th anniversary cars. It was like a shade of gold, but it was very light. And basically, this has a gold school shaker hood, and it's got these really cool tone-on-tone 50th anniversary stripes. So if you don't really see them, that's because it's so faint. But if you get up close to the car, depending on where the light hits it, you can see this 50th anniversary logo on it. They also gave the car these really massive 20-inch forge line wheels that were vintage inspired. And one thing that they hinted to, and they kind of to do a kind of a throwback to the cars of the 70s. But the interesting was, it was kind of a hint of what was to come, was they gave it Fratzog center caps. So we know that for 2024, Dodge's logo is being switched over to the Fratzog. They're getting rid of the Robbie logo, and they're going to the Fratzog again, which was from 1962 to, 1975 or 6 or something like that. So anyways, yeah. So they're changing that. It was a nod to 2024, with them coming up with all this stuff. But they also added a Mopar coilover suspension to lower the car and gave it kind of like a really low aggressive stance with those 20-inch forge lines. They also took and painted the tires so it kind of looked like those old, polyglass tires, kind of giving it that retro feel. But where it really stood out was not under the hood, because it had a 392 V8 under there. But where it really stood out was the interior. Now, the interior is killer. This is like the ultimate retro throwback interior for a Challenger. So the first thing they did was they had this nostalgic wood panel trim that went all the way across the dash, and it's like actual wood. It's not like fake, like cheap wood. And then they had it go down the center console as well. On top of that, they gave it a bright metal Mopar pedal kit, and they gave it custom seats and door inserts, which are green and yellow plaid fabric inserts, which look amazing. It gives a nod to the early 1970s, and if you like plaid like I do, it's freaking awesome. And they even make it even better They took on the passenger side where you have like the, the Scat Pack or 50th anniversary logo underneath the passenger vent. They got rid of it, and it has the phrase "Holy Guacamole." So what a cool concept! I mean, just it's just basically like a kind of a thrown together package, but it just looks killer. Like, this looks way better than any of the final edition or last call cars that they released. I would have loved to see this thing over the, like the Swinger or anything like that. But the ghosted out stripes, and then set it all off. Of course, they gave it a plate on the back that says guac. But even looking at the back, this color just stands out. This is something I really hope that they bring this color to market. I know it's kind of late for the Challenger, but hopefully they can bring it to the Charger Daytona. But this thing is so killer. It just looks so unique. It's got that pearlescent kind of color to it. And looking at these pictures with it being dark, because this is these pictures were taken inside the Design Dome at CTC, and by hitting it with different lighting, you can see how just pearlescent this color is. So it shifts from like a dirty like green to almost this pearl green, and it almost to a white. It just looks phenomenal. But those forged line wheels and everything just look great. It was one of the best looking concepts I've ever seen in modern day history. It has so much retro, but it's so nice to see like something that appeals to like the 1970s, to make the current or the modern day Challenger look so much like it belonged in that era. So, cool concept. I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Nobody ever talks about this concept car, but I just absolutely love it. I think the design team just nailed it with this thing. And I really wish that this color would come out. The wheels look great. It just, everything about this car stands out. And I know a lot of people either love the car or they hate the interior. But I'm one of those plaid guys. I mean, I'm wearing plaid right now. I love this car. So, anyways, take and hit the subscribe button. And if you like things like this, give me a thumbs up on here. And make sure to check out Mopar Insiders on a day-to-day basis. I will see you in the next video. Bye.